Good morning, students. I am your social teacher. In the last class, we discussed a lesson from civics, human rights, and today also we are going to discuss the same lesson. But today we are going to discuss about the fundamental duties. In that fundamental duties, we are going to discuss about the various fundamental duties that are mentioned in our constitution. We have the fundamental rights, likewise we have the fundamental duties. If you want the fundamental rights, you have to follow the fundamental duties. The first one, these were the important incorporated in the constitution by the 42nd Amendment Act in 1976. The constitution states 7 fundamental duties as given below. We have the 6 fundamental rights, and here the fundamental duties are 7. So our constitution given the 7 fundamental duties. First one is the respect the constitution and its ideals and institutions, the national flag and the national anthem. We have to respect our ideals of institutions, national flag and the national anthem. And the second one is to follow the series of noble ideas which inspired our national struggle for freedom. And third one, to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India, to defend the country and render national service when called upon to do so. It is the fourth one. Fifth one, to promote a harmony and a spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India, transcending the religious, linguistic, regional or sectional diversities. That means that without any discrimination, very diversities, we have to live in India as Indians. And sixth one, to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. That means we have to obey and we have to protect our culture. And eighth one, to develop the scientific temper, humanism and the spirit of inquiry and reform. And these are the fundamental duties we have to follow. And another one is that here the National Human Rights Commission. Here, the National Human Rights Commission was set up in the year 1933 on 12th October. Under the Protection of Human Rights Act of 1933, it consists of a chairman and a few other members, 3 from judiciary and 4 from other department. So, National Human Rights Commission was set up in 1993 in the month of October. It has a 3 judicial from the judiciaries and 4 from other department. Here, the National Human Rights Commission is responsible for the protection and promotion of human rights in India, defined by the Act as the right relating to life, liberty, equality and dignity of the individuals, guaranteed by the Constitution or embodied in the International Covenant. The office is located in the New Delhi. That means the National Human Rights Commission is located in New Delhi. The National Human Rights Commission is responsible for the protecting of human rights, like in the relating life and the field of life, liberty, equality and dignity, and the individual security. And the functions of National Human Rights Commission. Here, that inquire into the violation of human rights or negligence of the prevention of such violation by the public servant, to intervene in the court proceedings relating to human rights, and undertake and promote research in the field of human rights, and to encourage the effects of NGOs and institutions working in the field of human rights. These are the functions of the National Human Rights Commission. And another one, the State Human Rights Commission. The State Human Rights Commission also established in the year 1993 the protection of and the promotion of human rights. It constitutes the principal concern of the commission. So these are the National Human Rights Commission. And another one, that the functions of the State Human Rights Commission. The State Human Rights Commission shall inquire into violation of human rights in the respect of matters specified in the state and concurrent list. Its objects and duties are same. It has the power of a civil court and can take cognizance to case if received or in the suo motu. It can be recommended compensation to the victims. These are the State Human Rights Commission's functions. And another one is the child rights. A children has the rights. Who are considered as the child? The children below the age group of 18 years considered as the child minor as per UNO. This principle is existed in Article 25 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So, like the children has the rights. UN General Assembly on 20th November 1899 so entailed the rights of the children. That is here right to life, right to family environment, right to education, right to benefit from social security, right against sexual exploitation, right against the sale of trafficking, right against other form of exploitation like child labor. These are the rights are given here. The right to life means a child has a right to survive even before its birth. That means it is குழந்தை பிறக்கிறதுக்கு முன்னாடியே அதுக்கு வாழறதுக்கான உரிமை இருக்குது. The right to survival to also includes the right to born, the right to basic need of food, shelter and clothing and a dignified well-being. And another one, right to family environment. A child has a right to live a normal childhood in the family environment. Children who have been left destitute, abandoned or orphaned also have the right to live. These children can be given for adoption to caring families. Right to benefit from social security. A children should be protected by the society from the bad living condition and illness and disability. Right to education. The right to education is one of the most important thing of our Indian Constitution. From the age group of 6 to 14 year, children should be given the compulsory education. The 21A of Article 21A of the Constitution provide the right to education to all children. So another one here that right against the sale of trafficking of children. In some areas the children are used as a goods. That means அவங்கள கொண்டு போயிட்டு சில்ட்ரனை விற்கிறது, கடத்தி கொண்டு வச்சு விற்கிறது தான் என்ன சொல்ல ஹியூமன் trafficking or sale. Children should be treated as individuals with the fundamental rights, human rights. Children are the vulnerable. There are root causes such as the poverty, gender discrimination, broken families, etc. for the human cause for the trafficking of children. Children are subjected to sale or trafficking for various reasons: economic exploitation, sexual abuse, drug trafficking and child labor. So இதுக்காகலாம் children's யூஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க. So we have to protect the children from these abuses. Right against sexual exploitation. The state should be protect the children from sexual exploitation and abuse when they are forced or pursued to take part in the sexual activities physically or mentally. To protect the children from these sexual abuses, the government of India enacted act as a POCSO. POCSO means protection of children from sexual offence. This act has protected the children from the sexual offence. The act was enacted in 2012. The salient features of the POCSO Act: it acts to defend the children as any person below 18 years of age to ensure the healthy physical, emotional, intellectual and social development of the child. When the abuse is committed by a person in a position of trust or authority with the child, like a family members, neighbors or any other acquaintances, the statement of the child is to be recorded exactly at the child matters. So this is the one of the major thing. Here the child helpline number is also given here. Childline is India's first 24-hour free emergency phone service for children in the need of assistance. Special care is given for the vulnerable children like those affected by child labor, child marriage and children affected by any abuse. So these are the thing. And another one, the right against other from exploitation like a child labor. So India is one of the country it hardly against the child labor. Okay children, today's class is over. We will discuss the other remaining portions in the next class. Thank you.